So the question is on the repeal of the land transfer tax, and let's start to go down the line. Rob Ford, your answer first, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am the only candidate that has put in my platform, I will abolish the land transfer tax.
Clearly, the land transfer tax requirement is the result of years of financial mismanagement that are not going to be turned around quickly. I've laid out a 5-point plan for fiscal accountability at the city, which will allow us over time to approach affordability questions like the land transfer tax, but we also have to take out the nickel and dime taxes, like forcing the condo builders to pay for metro passes, like having a process of planning and permitting that can't be done in any kind of predictable and quick time. And as all of you know, time is money. So let's attack those affordability questions as quickly as possible.
Speaking of time, that is time. Okay, Mr. Smitherman?
Well, I do see the priority of restoring fiscal credibility for the City of Toronto as job one, as task one. I don't think it's practical in this environment to make a commitment towards the elimination of the land transfer tax. I do promise that make the commitment, the value proposition, that finding a way to get value for those resources at a City Hall is what we now have the obligation to demonstrate. The City has had the benefit of additional new revenue streams through this tax, transfer of gas taxes from the federal, provincial government, vehicle registration taxes and such, but the people can't see the benefit of these additional revenues. The obligation in job one is to get down there, roll up one's sleeves, and get to the bottom of it with a view towards re-establishing fiscal credibility for the City of Toronto. Some of these people will say, yes, they'll repeal it, but the harder question, and the question that really remains for them to answer is, please show us the cuts that will occur associated with your plan to repeal this tax. We have a lot of work to do on fiscal credibility, and one piece of fiscal credibility is to demonstrate the cuts that you will make when you promise to eliminate a tax like this.
Okay, part two of our debate this morning now has candidates being allowed to ask questions to one another.
Well, my question is to Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Smitherman, you were the most powerful politician of Queen's Park for 5 years from Toronto as Deputy Premier. In that time, we have led to a situation in Southern Ontario where we're losing $5 billion a year in transportation because people are stuck in gridlock. You know, you were unable or unwilling to do something for Toronto and the GTA in terms of transportation system, in terms of boat transit, Transit City, and funding of the TDC. You know, what will make anyone believe, in effect, that what you were not able to do as the most powerful politicians at Queen's Park from Toronto, now you'll be able to do in Toronto, especially when the same people are in government in Ontario as they were when you were the most powerful politician in Ontario.
Mr. Smith.
But the reality of investment on the part of the province of Ontario and Toronto is one that I'm proud to be able to talk about. I restored independent governance to Women's College Hospital, saw the investment of billions of dollars in new hospital infrastructure in Toronto, helped to find doctors and nurses for hundreds and thousands of people. We were able to reduce wait times in the province of Ontario to the lowest wait times anywhere in the country. On transit and transportation, even with the current delay with respect to Transit City, the City of Toronto has the money in the bank and has had it in the bank for 4 years from the province for the expansion of the subway line to York University and beyond the York region. Why have you only managed to move a water main, Joe? In 4 years, you've had $900 million in the bank. They've already gained more than $100 million of interest. The province of Ontario has supported the City of Toronto through the transfer of the gas tax, more than $100 million a year. I was involved in that. The City of Toronto has gained benefit from the provincial government for investments in new streetcars and new subway cars. I was part of that. And indeed, they've made advancements through Transit City that will see the construction of new transit lines in the City of Toronto. So over the past 5 years, I've been there delivering for Toronto, Joe. What have you accomplished in 28 years?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Well, my question is to Rob Ford. And it's not so much a policy question, it's really a question that gets at the heart of the matter of leadership and at the matter of character. You had a chance to be involved in a debate at the City of Toronto with respect to the City of Toronto's role in funding programs to prevent the spread of AIDS. And many of us know of circumstances of people who have suffered from AIDS. And your reason for voting no, you said on the floor of council, if you're not doing needles and you're not gay, you wouldn't get AIDS. That's the bottom line. City of Toronto is a place that has a motto that says diversity our strength. It calls upon the mayor to be a mayor for all the people. And I'd like you, Mr. Ford, to explain to people how your character, and especially these comments, is justifiable now that you present yourself as someone who wishes to be mayor of the City of Toronto, one of the most diverse places to be found anywhere in the world.
Mr. Ford.
Thank you, Mr. Smitherman, for that question. You're talking about Rob Ford's character. Let me tell you what Rob Ford's character is about. It's about integrity. It's about helping kids get off the street, helping thousands of kids get out of games, putting my own money where my mouth is. I don't talk the talk, I walk the walk. I have a Rob Ford Football Foundation. I'm caring. I help these kids get out of games. At Don Bosco, we look at Don Bosco, we look at Rexdale 10 years ago. People wouldn't go up there. Now, I landed the largest development in Rexdale's history at Woodbine Live. I got Lowe's, I got Walmart. I'm a businessman, Mr. Smitherman. I know how to create jobs. I know how to meet a payroll. I'm going to stop playing the games that everyone else plays in the provincial government and the municipal government. Let's get the job done and come down to customer service. You want to get personal? Go ahead. I've got an agenda here. This is how the city can be run. I'm not going to play games like you have, be blowing $1 billion on e-health when I was a health minister.
I do want it. Firstly, there's a lot of hooting and hollering, but one thing that I didn't notice in the hooting and hollering was to ask that man to answer the question. Ask that man to answer the question why it's right for someone who wishes to be the mayor of Toronto to stand on the floor of council and to say that gay people and people who might be involved in the street don't warrant the city's protections. It's not about what you did for football. I built a skating program. Those things are admirable. Why didn't you answer the question about your fundamental character? You divide people up and you make people belittle, and you did this on the floor of council on this issue and on others. Tell me why your character is up to the job to be the mayor of the most diverse city in the world.
Does the City of Toronto have a spending problem or a revenue problem? And how will you address whichever it is if you become the mayor?
The revenues have come back quite well. We have an expenditure problem. Rocco Rossi's bang on one part of it, which is with respect to the employment costs. Those are growing at somewhere around 6% a year compounded. We know that is not a sustainable circumstance. There's one more piece of the expenditure problem that needs to be focused on. The city doesn't have a focus. It's all things to all people. Every council meeting is about a new focus. We need to narrow the focus and get back to core services.
Are you going to find other ways to finance Transit City?
I reject the solution that Rocco Rossi has presented because I don't think we should liquidate all the assets that we have, including Toronto Hydro, in a 407 style sell-off. I don't think that's the right approach for Toronto. I think that debt is one of the necessary things that you have to have when you want to build a house that's bigger than your cash on hand, and it's the necessary thing that you got to take a look at when you want to build the infrastructure that's bigger than what you can pay for today. It's time for us to have a vision, a civic vision in Toronto again, like people in the 50s and the 60s.
We're going to give all of our candidates now 1 minute to make a final pitch to you, the voters.
I have the experience and the track record having made transformational change in other important sectors. I've worked in organizations that have as many moving parts as the City of Toronto, and I brought change to those places. There is an appetite for change. That much is obvious. The question in this election soon becomes, who do you think can rock the boat without tipping the boat over? I'm someone that has been a catalyst for change, in reducing wait times, in delivering family doctors, in bringing forward green energy. And I want to create in the City of Toronto fiscal reliability again, to bring that back, to get our city moving again from the standpoint of transportation, to focus on jobs and social development, and to bring back a renewed focus on core services. These are the things that I offer, and through this campaign I look forward to working across the breadth of this fantastic city and encouraging all Torontonians to come together, to work together, and to build a city that works again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.